What's going on, people? Welcome to J Talks Chelsea, and being international break time, I thought I would go ahead and do a video on the recent transfer window that has just passed, which has probably been the craziest transfer window I think we've ever seen. So in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and just do my own personal thoughts on some of the bigger transfer news stories that have happened throughout this window. Of course, the two big ones, but also some of the other ones as well that I think have just really been quite interesting. So before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and if you do, why not turn that notification bell on so you don't miss out on new uploads. And yeah, so let's get on to it. So I'm going to start off with none other than probably the best team to have in the transfer windows in terms of business, and that would of course be none other than PSG. They have just done absolute mad business. Of course, start off with their free transfers that they got, the likes of Gianluigi Donnarumma, Jorginho Wijnaldum, and of course Sergio Ramos, all on free transfers. I mean, that's just mad, to be honest with you. Getting, those players, likes of Ramos and his experience, and then you got Wijnaldum, who's like quite, really in the engine room for Liverpool, and Donnarumma, who's, only, I think in his early 20s and just already looking like a top goalkeeper. All of them on free transfers. They also signed Hakimi from Inter Milan for 60 million, I believe. That was a decent signing as well, a nice versatile, skillful player, and that's like a really, really good window before you even add Messi on top of that as well, which of course we will get into later. They also of course managed to keep Mbappe. However, it does look like he is going to leave Real Madrid, to be fair, next window, so that's probably the only downer, that he's probably not signing a new contract. But yeah, just a crazy great window for PSG. So now we're going to go over to North London, and we're actually going to take a look at the biggest spenders in the Premier League, surprisingly, which is Arsenal. Of course, don't usually spend loads of money, and they just brought in just a ton of signings, really. They brought in Nuno Tavares from Benfica, Sambi Lukongu from Anderlecht, and then of course they brought in the big transfer of Ben White from Brighton. Of course, that 50 million transfer fee. They then of course signed Odegaard, who was of course on loan last season. I think Odegaard is a decent signing. Then of course signed the kind of I'd say 50-50 signing with Aaron Ramsdale, quite expensive there for a backup goalkeeper, even if they did say he is going to challenge Leno. And then they also signed Takearo Tomayuso, sorry if I butchered that name. I think they signed him on deadline day. So yeah, Arsenal signing quite a few players, and so yeah, Arsenal spending a lot of money in the transfer window, and actually being the top spenders and getting a few players. And I think it's been an interesting window for Arsenal. I think Ben White and Odegaard are okay signings. Then they got like the Ramsdale signing, which 30 million I think is quite steep for a goalkeeper when you already have Leno. Which Leno's a bit 50-50 for me. But I feel like Leno is probably still your number one. So I don't know if Ramsdale is gonna challenge for number one. So I think that's quite steep for a backup keeper. But yeah, so Arsenal making some interesting signings there, and they're the top spenders for the Premier League. So of course now we head to Manchester for Manchester City, and of course they smash the record for a British player, which of course I believe was originally Bale, around 85 million, and that is of course for none other than Villa captain Jack Grealish. I think overall, Jack has been tremendous over the last few years. I think he's been a great servant for Villa. He's stuck with it. He's probably been easily their best player. He had a great Euros despite being really favoured by Southgate, probably unfairly. And to see him go to Man City, I'm sure the Villa fans are fine with that. He's going to go play Champions League football. I think he deserves it. Obviously, Villa, a good team, but sadly probably aren't going to get into Champions League at least just yet. So I think this is of course a British transfer record of 100 million. I think it's a good signing. However, do you say Man City should have gone for a striker instead? Do they really need Grealish when they already have so many attacking players, including the likes of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, players like that? But of course, that's a huge signing, £100 million. British transfer record. So of course, sort of staying in Manchester, but also going back to North London, we have the Harry Kane transfer saga that of course didn't end up materialising in a move. So of course, Harry Kane, looking all likely that he wanted to go, and even though Pep kept on going on about that they wouldn't sign him, or it was impossible to sign him, of course, Man City would have the money, but in the end, of course, Kane never ended up going. Of course, he missed training, skipped training, whether that was for the transfer or not, I'm not 100% certain. It did feel a bit odd that he missed training, unless of course he was trying to finalise a move. But yeah, of course, the back and forth. Is he going to go? Always saying we're not going to go, and then he is going to go. And of course, in the end, Man City didn't give the money. They didn't go for him, and of course, in the end, Harry Kane is now stayed at Tottenham. So we're going to head over now to Spain, and we're going to talk about Barcelona's dealings and what's happened there. And it's been quite crazy at Barcelona, of course. So they did manage to bring a few players in. They signed the likes of Aguero and Depay, I believe, on free transfers. They've also signed Luke de Jong from Seville on a loan on their deadline day as well. So a few forward players there. However, of course, a lot of Barcelona's transfer news, of course, is all going to be on Messi, and the fact that, of course, Messi has now left the club. And I'll get more into that later on in the video. But also, we've seen Griezmann leave the club as well. He went on loan back to Atletico Madrid on deadline day. Hasn't really lived up, I think, to what he could have done at Barcelona. And he was on a lot of money as well. He was on a lot of wages. So I think it was about getting him off the books. And as you can see, but I think Barcelona, as we all know, is just having a lot of financial problems at the moment. That's mainly one of the reasons why Messi left. And we've had Piqué and Busquets have managed to stay, but they've taken pay cuts. And yeah, overall, there's just a lot of stuff has been happening at Barcelona, and they've got a lot of financial problems. And of course, the main stuff is that Messi has left the club. There's still got some okay signings, but of course, Messi leaving. Where does this leave Barcelona now? Of course, they've still got good players, they've still got young players coming through, but of course, got some good players now. But of course, they are in a lot of financial problems. I wonder how it's going to go moving forward. So we're going to go back to Manchester, and now we're going to go to the other side, the red side of Manchester, and talk about Manchester United and their transfer business. And they've had an incredible window as well, like PSG, signing the likes of Varane, Jadon Sancho, and if you thought that was a decent window for what they really, quite a few players they needed in their squad, they just go and sign Ronaldo. But yeah, so as you can see, we got Jadon Sancho and Varane, just really decent signings. The fact they managed to get Varane, really experienced, good defender. They needed strength in that area. Getting Varane, of course, the guy's won Champions League, he's been there, done that, and he's only 28, so getting him in his prime is crazy. And of course, they go and get their man Sancho for 70 odd million, I think, 75 million. The fact that Dortmund originally wanted 120 million, they waited a year. They've got him for a really good price. Young upcoming prospect, English, of course, that added it to it. So great signing. They needed, I believe, a right winger. That transfer business was really, really good. And then, of course, they go and add Ronaldo onto it as well. Ronaldo's home. It's absolutely crazy. And of course, we'll get onto Ronaldo a bit later. So before we get on to the last big transfer stuff, I'm going to talk about my team, Chelsea, and how our transfer window has sort of been, talk about the incomings there. So of course, the big transfer of Romelu Lukaku back to Stamford Bridge. Crazy to see him back, of course. I believe it's 9 years, something since or 10 years since he was last here, of course. Since then, gone to Everton, tore up the league, gone to United, scored goals, but it wasn't best time. And of course, he went to Inter Milan, really matured, just tore up the league. It was only behind Ronaldo, which I think that's pretty fair. And of course, won the Serie A with Inter Milan, and now I guess he's back home at the club that he supported, he's going to love. And obviously, I think he is definitely a striker that we need. Scored on his debut, second debut, of course, and he's a beast. He's gonna tear, he's going to terrify the life out of some Premier League defenders. I know Van Dijk and Matip did have him for that game, but then again, of course, we were down 10 men for half of that. But I think he will be able to get through some Premier League defenders, and of course, I believe he will score goals, and I really hope he'll be a good transfer. And then, of course, on deadline day, we signed Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid on a loan, which I think is a pretty cool deal, a decent player, and I don't know too much about him, but I do know that it was, of course, I think it's a decent transfer. I think he's going to be a good backup option for the midfield. I know we have Loftus-Cheek and Ross Barkley back in the squad. However, I don't know if Barkley's really going to be suited moving forward. I think he's probably not massively favoured, and I don't think he's really up to that level. And then, of course, you have Loftus-Cheek, who, with those injuries, I just don't think he's ever going to really recover. I really hope he does. So I think Saul Niguez is a good backup option to have, because we really only have three midfielders in Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic. Because Mount is more of an attacking player. We got to, I guess Mount could play in like a 6, but I think overall, I think it's good to get a bit more backup within the midfield. Now, of course, we did have some outgoings at Chelsea. Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud, both strikers, of course, leaving for Roma and AC Milan, respectively. Of course, Tammy Abraham, the guy wasn't getting a look in. You could tell he was not getting a look in. You could tell Tuchel just probably didn't favour him. I don't even think he started a single game, and I can't remember him coming off the bench that many times as well. So maybe in like one of the league games, some early cup games or something. But I think overall, it really shows that he was probably not going to stay. Goes to Roma. Good luck to him. I really hope he does well there. And of course, we've got Giroud. Of course, he wants whether he gets game time or not at AC Milan, I'm not sure. Will he play up top with Zlatan maybe? I think that he hasn't really. I don't know if he's going to play first team football at AC Milan, but I think overall, the guy again, he wanted to go, and good luck to him. He's been a good servant. So now we're going to get to, of course, the two big news. You all know what this is. It is, of course, Messi and Ronaldo both leaving in the same window. Messi leaving Barcelona for the first time, and of course Ronaldo going back home to Manchester United. So we're going to start off with Cristiano Ronaldo's move back to Manchester United, and of course how close he was to nearly joining Manchester City. There was links, of course, there was talks. Ronaldo had sort of asked to not play for Juventus, and of course it seemed almost like he's going to go to Man City, which had of course been crazy for Man City, and of course maybe Man United fans would have maybe thought that would tarnish his legacy at Man United. But of course, last minute, Man United come in, swoop in with an offer, and they get their man. Ronaldo is back home at Manchester United and back in the Premier League. Just absolutely incredible. Seeing this guy back in the Premier League, even if he's 36, I still think he's probably 30, given the way he looks after himself. He's still got it easily. He will still do bits in the league, and I think having him back in the league is just absolutely crazy. And he's back at United. What more can I really say? There's not really much more to say. He's back home, and it's going to be crazy to see him back in the Premier League. And then, of course, now we're going to move on to the other massive news. Lionel Messi, for the first time, I believe it's about 20 years since he joined the club when he was about 13 years old, he has left Barcelona. And just a crazy saga, of course. Last season, it looked like he wanted to leave, and then he's like, at the end, he was like, okay, I'm actually want to stay, and he wanted to stay. And then Barcelona's finances have just, really not been that great. They've really had a lot of problems. We've seen the likes of their free transfers and just all these kind of things, and they've got, let a lot of players go, the likes of Suarez now, and obviously Griezmann and Messi. And Messi just, he even took a bit of a pay cut, of course, to want to stay. And in the end, he's just left, and he's left. And he's gone to Paris Saint-Germain, which of course we've already talked about PSG and their transfers. And it's just crazy to see Messi move, and he has left Barcelona, and he has gone to another club. And going to where he's gone to PSG, and the squad they've got now is absolutely incredible. They need to win the Champions League with that squad, absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, so Lionel Messi has left Barcelona. It really is absolutely incredible. So there was my thoughts on some of the biggest news stories in this transfer window. This has been easily the craziest transfer window. I don't think anything comes close. We've had Neymar's signing in the 17-18 window. We've had, Pogba's signing in the 16-17 window. We've had some big windows in the past, but I don't think anything tops this window. Some crazy stuff happening to us. One of the craziest windows ever. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So what do you think about the window? What was some of your favourite news from the window? What do you think about the big news stories? Of course, the likes of PSG, Grealish record transfer, Harry Kane not leaving, Chelsea's transfers, and of course Messi and Ronaldo. Just absolutely incredible. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Man, what a crazy transfer window, eh?